Okay, so good afternoon, class. Good afternoon to the listeners in my YouTube channel. Now we will discuss the forms and economic goals of business, organization, and phases of economic development. So as we have uh, with our previous topic, with week one, that starts with the basic concepts of theories of management. So what are the concepts needed and then theories needed in order for a manager to be equipped? Okay, so basic concepts and theories. So we have discussed different concepts. And then on week two, we also have discussed the functions, roles, and the skills needed for a manager. So the things needed for him to be successful, needed for him to manage the business or to lead the organization. So those are the things that we have discussed in week two. And for week three, it's about the role of business in the environment and how the environment affects the firm. So as we have observed, environment of the business is very essential or very important for managers to consider, especially if they will be solving a particular problem or they are planning to have a new branch. Okay, they are planning to expound, okay, and be competitive in the world of business. So they have to consider the environment in order for them to successfully uh, analyze by having the SWOT analysis: strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. And when it comes to larger environment, the PES, okay, uh, political, economical, okay, social, and technological aspects that affects the business. So those are the things needed or had been discussed with the previous weeks. Now, we will continue our topic with the forms and economic roles of business, organization, and phases of economic development. Now, I will share the slide. Okay, share screen. Uh, sharing. Okay. Okay. So as you can see here, uh-huh. Okay. So forms and economic roles of business organization and phases of economic development. Okay. So we have discussed these previous topics. And before we continue, let's have first a review, short review. Okay. Direction is from the scenarios below. Okay. Please identify each statement, whether it is political, economic, social, or technological factors of business environment. So, okay, those are the things, okay, provided. So, one and two. Cabrera Food Corporation has provided an access to online delivery or takeout through a website or app for its customers. So determine if that statement is about political, or economical, social, technological factor of business environment. And the other one, Morales Corporation faces government regulations on tax of profit where it gains from the operation and other tax such as entertainment and restaurant service tax. Okay, so the answers will be coming from you. Which among the four factors, okay, these statements will fall under? Okay, now, let's proceed to the forms of business organization. So as we have observed a while ago, the topic is about roles of business organization and phases of economic development. Okay, so let's analyze first the different forms of business organizations. The first one is sole proprietorship. Okay, as we all know, sole proprietorship, okay, by the having the word itself, as you can see, uh, sole means alone, okay, single. So there are many business wherein some of the businessmen will just start their business. So for them, it will be easier to start by having a small business, okay, and you as the businessman will be the one to take over or manage the business. So only one person is handling or managing the whole business. And in your module, as we can see, um, according to your module, describes how business are structured and how their structure helps them to meet their goals. So even if only one is managing the business, they can still achieve their goals. So there are many business, okay, single or sole proprietorship is emerging. As you can see, it can be easily started. Okay, so that is one of the advantage. So only one is managing the business, and the advantage is can be easily started. And the manager have the complete control over the business. Okay, so only one. But there are disadvantages of only having one who is managing the business. One of the problem is unlimited liability. Okay, and are legally responsible for all the debts against the business. When you say unlimited liability, so if the business cannot pay the debts of the business, okay, the banks, for example, you have a debt in the bank will go over including your personal assets. So unlimited liability in order for the banks to until the banks will be satisfied, okay, or fully paid. So that is one of the disadvantage. And another one, since it is only one who is managing the business, there are many instances wherein single or sole proprietorship is having problems with the fund, okay, investment. So only one, so smaller investment. Okay, so another form of business environment or business organization emerge. So they can have other business partner, okay, to join them and starting, or can either be starting having a partner, or you already have a business, you are the sole owner, and you will be inviting a partner. So you will now have another type of another form of business organization, which what they call partnership. So in your module, as we can see, Okay, two or more people share ownership of a single business. So it's not only two, at least two or more. Okay, the law does not distinguish between the business and its owners. So they have similarities. Okay, they have similarities with the sole proprietorship. Okay, the only difference is sole proprietorship is only one. Partnership is okay, having two or more partners. The advantage of that can easily establish and uh, in partnership, since you started by having two or more partners, it the investment is bigger when it compares to sole proprietorship. Okay, but the disadvantage is almost similar with the sole proprietorship. The partners will be having unlimited liability. So the banks can go over all their personal assets when their business cannot pay the taxes required, or they cannot pay the debt of their business. Okay, and of course, profits may be shared with others. So instead of having you, okay, if you are a sole proprietor, all of the profits will go to you. But in partnership, of course, you will divide that among the partners. So that is the disadvantage of partnership. Okay, having advantage and disadvantage. But in partnership, they also have what they call uh, okay, general partnership. Okay, wherein partners divide responsibility for management and liability, as well as shares of profit and loss according to their internal agreement. So general partnership. Equal shares are assumed unless there is a written agreement that states differently. Okay, so from partnership, another partnership emerged, which is general partnership, and we have the other one, limited partnership or partnership with limited liability. So when you say limited liability, most of the partners have limited liability to the extent of their investment only. Okay, and as well as limited input regarding management decisions, which generally encourage investors for short-term projects or for investing in capital assets. So as you can see, those type of partnership have the word limited, okay, at the end of their name. And the other one is joint venture. Okay, joint venture acts like general partnership but is clearly limited, okay, for a limited period of time or single project. If the partners in a joint venture repeat the activity, they will be recognized as ongoing partnership and will have filed as such and distribute accumulated partnership assets among dissolution of the entity. Okay, so they can do that. And the other form of partnership is, the other form of business organization is corporation. Corporation, limited liability company, and cooperative. So this is what I am saying a while ago. General partnership, limited partnership, and joint venture. When it comes to corporation, uh, a corporation is a business organization that has a separate legal personality from its owners. So separate legal personality. It is acting like a person. So it can deal It can have a business with other company, okay, acting like a person. Okay. Ownership in a stock corporation is represented by shares of stocks. Okay. The owners, or what they call stockholders, enjoy the limited liability but have limited involvement in the company operations. Okay. Limited liability to the extent of their investment only. So the banks will not go over their personal assets, only the investment that they have used in their corporation. So the board of directors, an elected group from stockholders, controls the activities of the corporation. So there is a board of directors. One of the examples mentioned in your module is the San Miguel Corporation, or SMC, okay, in the Philippines, one of the largest diversified conglomerates, okay, generating about 5.1%, okay, of the country's gross domestic product through highly integrated operations. Okay, so as we all know, successful business, one of the successful business in the Philippines is the San Miguel Corporation. Okay, so it is a big business, as you can see. It will not, or cannot be operated by only one person. Okay, so it is acting like a person, but of course, composed of board of directors, stockholders. Okay, so those are the things that you can see in corporation. And the advantages of corporation: limits liability to owners and debt and losses. Okay, profits and losses belong to corporation. So that is the advantages of a corporation. And the disadvantage, okay, sure, corporate operations are costly. Establishing corporation is costly. So the thing here, as you can see, sometimes it will start from partnership going to corporation. But if you will start a corporation immediately, you will be, of course, encountering costs, okay, different costs in starting a business if you will start that as corporation. And the other type or forms of business organization is limited liability company. What is this? It is a hybrid form of business that have characteristic of both corporation and partnership. Limited liability company is not incorporated, hence it is not considered a corporation, but the owners enjoy limited liability like a corporation. Okay. The limited liability company may elect to be taxed as a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or a corporation. Okay, and what's about cooperative? In cooperative, this is a cooperative is a business organization owned by a group of individuals and is operated for their mutual benefit. So the persons making up the group are called members. Okay, members, and then of course, as we have observed, there are many different types of cooperatives, like water and electricity cooperatives, cooperative banking, credit unions, and housing cooperatives. Okay, so this is also one of the successful type of business. But there are also disadvantages or things to consider in having cooperative. Okay, of course, the members, they can easily withdraw their money. So the tendency of a cooperative, if they disagree with each other, it can easily be uh, they, the members can easily go out with the cooperative. And we will also consider the rules of business organization to the economic development. So as we all know, this business organization will become the risk takers. The risk takers. Because they, in starting a business, okay, of course, you need skills needed, knowledge, and then of course, risk in starting a business. And then one of their roles is creating jobs, of course. Okay, without business, there will be problems for the community for looking for jobs. The more community have business, okay, the more business a community have, more jobs is being created. And the other one is providing innovation. So just like entrepreneurs, they are innovative. Okay, they think of things in order for the customers to buy. Okay, so entrepreneurs, by their very nature, have risk-taking personality. So risk takers also, they are more prepared to innovate. They challenge the process, introduce or adapt new ideas and ways of doing things. Okay, so those are the things, okay, the role of business organization. Inspiration, of course, when it comes to economy, they are inspiring others to have their business also. Okay, and sometimes entrepreneurs are often very driven, charismatic, successful business who have overcome significant obstacles to achieve something of note. So inspiration is one of the roles of business organization. And the other one is investment. Okay, so investment. Entrepreneurs generate income and revenues, and much of this income is often invested in the local economy. Of course, the more business a community have, the government will be benefited. And then, of course, community will also be benefited if many persons will be paying tax. So the taxes being taken by the government will also be used to the government activities, okay, in building schools, roads, and other activities of the government. Okay, and phases of economic development. So Malthusian theory of population growth is the idea that population growth is potentially exponential, while the growth of food supply and other resources is linear. Okay, it derives from the political and economic thought that the Reverend Thomas Robert Malthus, okay, is laid out of his 1798 writings. Okay, it is a theory about economic growth which depends on the rate of the population of a certain area. So in Malthusian growth of theory of population growth, population is affecting, okay, affecting the food supply of a particular area. While the other, okay, there are positive effect of Malthusian theory. The positive effect is the standard of living to the growth rate of population, positive effect on the standard of living. And uh, the size of population negatively affects the standard of living of the people. So it can have positive and negative effect. When it comes to government, lead or local economic development. So what is this? Local economic development based on the module is a process of strategic planning through partnership between local government, the business community, and NGOs. Okay? Focus on the region's potential and identifies specifically what local stakeholders can and the need to do to ensure their local community reaches its potential. It is an approach towards economic development which allows and encourages local people to work together to achieve sustainable economic growth and development. So local economic development. So government will be encouraging the locals to start their business, okay, and help each other. The other type of economic development is the environmental cognate curve. In this aspect, is used to graph the idea that as an economy develops, market forces begin to increase and economic inequality decreases. Okay. More specifically, that as the economy grows, initially the environment suffers, but eventually the relationship between the environment and society improves. So that is what Cognete's curve is, environmental Cognete's curve is pertaining. So first, it will have a negative effect with the environment, the pollution and other things. But later on, as we can see, these businesses is initializing things that will improve or lessens the pollution to the environment. Okay, so as we can see, there are some activities, okay, of business we're in. They are going to green management. Green management, they are considering the environment for every business operation. And the other one is human capital base. Human capital base, so as we can see, humans or skills of people in the society is being measured. Okay, the economic value of an employee skill set. It refers to the knowledge, skill set, and motivation that people will have, which provide economic value. Sorry. It could be invested in through education, training, and enhanced benefits that lead to improvement in the quality level of production. So human capital base. So as we can see here in the Philippines, human capital. So some of the citizens who have been trained here will go abroad. They will work there. And of course, the government will receive, okay, will receive an additional taxes for those working abroad. Okay, human capital base. So more and more people in the community in a country, skilled people, they can also have a positive effect in the government. Why? It can either be they will go abroad, work there. Of course, the government will be benefited, or they can invite investors to start their business here, and will encourage jobs to the citizens. Okay, and the last one is post-demographic transition. Post-demographic transition was proposed in 1929 by Warren Thompson. It is the transition from high birth and death rate to lower birth and death rate as the country develops from pre-industrial to industrialized economic system. The fertility rate decreases when child mortality is low and is weakly dependent in gross domestic product. Okay, so as we can see here, post-demographic transition from high birth and death rate, okay, high birth and okay, to lower birth and death rate as the country develops. Okay, so if, for example, the country is developing, there will be a lower birth and death rate. Okay, death rate when it comes to improving a country. So, okay, of course, there will be an increase in technology. What will happen? So, okay, the citizens of that country, of course, will receive help from the government. So lower death rate as the country develops. Okay, so we have some things for you to answer in Let's Apply, as you can see here. Identification from the forms of business organization. Cite one company which belongs to sole proprietorship, one for partnership and one for corporation. Then state the names of the owners. So we can do this. So proprietorship, partnership, and then the names of the owners. The other one, in Let's Analyze, state two phases of economic development and explain each phase and its importance and impact in the Philippine industry, such as banking, finance, and oil industry in 3 sentences. Okay, so you can answer this and state the 5 roles of the business as we have discussed a while ago. Organization to economic development. Describe each importance and impact to the economy. Cite an example which is timely and relevant for each role. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I think that's all. So see you next meeting again. Okay, thank you very much.